how we end up. Shades of blue and gray. I feel just like an empty bottle. My dreams are on delay. I just wanna climb on top of a hill and throw it all away, away. Take me far away before my mind spins off and I am all derailed, derailed. Just drive all the way to the rainbow's end. Just drive, and we'll never turn our backs again. So this is how we end up. The game is set to play. Every day remains the same now. One decision we obey. I just wanna climb on top of a hill and throw it all away, away. Take me far away before my mind spins off and I am all derailed, derailed. Just drive all the way to the rainbow's end. Just drive, and we'll never turn our backs again. Just drive.
For a change.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for the 5th round of the Porsche Supercup here for Motive Racing's Porsche Supercup season, second season of this series, and we've currently got 14 cars out on track for this one. Let's just turn that off because that is not supposed to be there. Apologies for that. But yeah, we've got 14 drivers out on the track for this one. Looks like we've got a decent field here at Zolder. Tricky circuit, a few chicanes here and there. It's not an easy one to get a good car set up, and with these no traction control beasts going around this track, it's definitely not going to be an easy evening for all these drivers, but I'm sure they're all up to the challenge. As we see Lightblade currently setting the pace at the moment here in this session. He's got a 10th of a second ahead of, or actually as I say that, D-Crocs goes to the top of the leaderboard there. So D-Crocs, the man who's been pretty much, I'd say, the quickest in general over the qualifying sessions this season. He goes to the top of the leaderboard in a 1 minute 31.9. He's 3/10 clear of this man, Will Friedman, who just puts himself ahead of Lightblade there. And Lightblade now suddenly down to 3rd place here in this session after having provisional pole for a few moments just a moment ago. Rompu sat in 4th right now. He's just coming out of the last corner up towards the line. Let's see what he can put in. He doesn't look like he's on an improvement that time around. One notable absentee is Sergey Zainlov. I'm not sure where he is, but lead coordinator's not with us at the moment, so hopefully he will be on the track before we get going for the sprint race. Obviously 2 races for the Porsche Supercup, a sprint and a feature race, so lots and lots of action to be had, and hopefully we'll be able to see some of the best action here on the Motive Racing channel with these guys, some of the best Porsche Supercup drivers on the PlayStation 4 platform. We're on and delighted to have them out on track, and it's going to be a good race, I can tell that for sure. Still waiting for my usual co-commentator Anthony to jump in the box with me. Hopefully he'll be here soon, but for now it's me taking you through the action on my Larry. But yeah, D-Croc's currently doing a great job at the moment, 3/10 clear of Will Friedman. Cam's still yet to put in a lap. We always know that Cam Diz will be up there or thereabouts, so he tends to leave it till the last minute to put a lap in. We'll be able to see whether or not he's put in practice. He usually has. He's usually very solid. Let's see what Cam does here on his first flying lap. Comes up towards the line. It was an out lap there for Cam, so that wasn't an actual flying lap. He will get more chances over the course of this session. D-Crocs has improved his lap time by a few hundredths of a second on that previous lap, not by much. He's still got more or less the same gap, but he's into the 131.8s now instead of the 131.9s. DeedeeTKU and RaKiMaJe have both gone ahead of Lightblade, so they've done some very quick lap times there, getting themselves up the sharp end. Very nice to see indeed, as Lightblade's down to 5th place here in this session. Rompu 6th. Kenny currently rests in 7th place right now. Took his first win on the track in last night's GT3 Tier 2, but unfortunately for him, the stewards decided that because the mandatory pit stop had been incorrectly set on the server settings, we decided that we were going to award him 2nd just because everybody else had come into the pits, and he obviously stayed out on track, and bless him, he followed the rules to the T. But with every other driver having come in and made that stop that the game had made the drivers do, it just seemed unfair to the other drivers, especially to Gunnar Gamble, who ultimately earned the 1st place in that race. So Kenny P2 yesterday at Spa for the Tier 2s and the GT3s, and he'll be looking to try and build on that tonight. Currently sat in 7th. Oh, he gets a little bit loose onto the grass though, into the walls a little bit, and he might get a chance to get into the pits and fix that damage, get out again, but he might be cutting it fine. Scuderia Paul currently sat in 8th in this session. He's just coming through the 1st sector. Maze Gamer in 9th. Good to have Maze out on track, driving in the number 1 car. Well, he's definitely confident, but his first appearance, I think, in the Porsche Supercup, so he's going to have his work cut out if he wants to try and live up to that number. We've got Sergey is in the session. I don't know what on earth was going through my head earlier on. I was sure I couldn't see him on the list, but maybe it's because I was expecting him to be a bit higher up. He is in the session. He is here. He's down in P10 at the moment. We've got Jesus in 11th place. Jesus Canham currently 4.4 seconds off for the fastest time. You've got Euphoric State in 12th. Doing a few weaving here as he gets the tyres up to temperature. We've got Hype Shoulder and Cam Diz still yet to set a lap, but we always know that he'll be up there or thereabouts. He's just got to get that clean lap in, and he will get one more after the lap he's currently on. In fact, let's ride with Cam Diz. Let's see what he's getting up to here as he comes into the chicane. A little bit wider than he would want to be, and he goes straight on there, unfortunately for him. So he's messed that up, and now he's got to go again and try and make it work with one more flying lap, as we're noticing D-Crocs has gone even faster at the top of the leaderboard into the 1 minute 31.6s, but Will Friedman has closed the gap and has got into the 1:31s as well as he backs off on this lap he's currently on, maybe trying to get some clean air and go for one more run here in this session. But the minute's ticking down, we're into the final minute of this qualifying session here for round 5 of the Porsche Supercup and Motive Racing, and D-Croc's currently a man on provisional pole position ahead of Will Friedman, then DeedeeTKU in 3rd. RaKi currently sat in 4th place right now, he's got 200ths of a second of a gap back to Lightblade, who sat in 5th. Lightblade hasn't had a chance to do a whole load of practice over the last few weeks, he's feeling a bit rusty, he's come back to sim racing after a lengthy layoff, so he's got something to prove out there, that is for sure. We'll be able to see what exactly he's got in his locker to be able to fight these guys. Oh, as he gets a little bit loose coming out of the chicane, he gets sideways there and he's going to lose it out. I think he's going to bring it into the pits. He does, yeah, so that's unfortunate there for Lightblade. What about Rompu? He comes up towards the line now and he goes up into 4th place, so he's only 8/10 off of the pole time. He will get maybe one more lap in, I think. He did just get over the line in time, so he will be on another lap here. Good to see. But D-Croc's currently on provisional pole, feeling confident clearly because he's sat in the pits, so he thinks he's done enough. We'll be able to see pretty soon whether or not he has done the necessary lap time to get the pole position time. We've got Cosmic Mike in the comments saying, "Evening lads, welcome along." Cosmic Mike, good to have you with us. We've also got Joram as well getting behind his dad RaKi. We've got Steve in the comments saying Forza Capek Sakib. I don't know who that is, Steve. Maybe Steve wants to let us know who Sasep is, or Kakep, I don't know. I don't know if that's it. I mean, it's obviously Italian for something, but I don't know what it is. So Steve, let us know. Matthew Jordan voicing his support for Cam in the comments. We've got Maze Gamer saying, "Evening guys, hopefully it will be a good race tonight." Fingers crossed, Maze. Maze currently sat in 10th at the moment in this qualifying session. Looks like he's done for this one as well. As we see D-Croc's Will. Euphoric State has moved up into 3rd place. What a great lap there from him at the end of the session. So he's now put himself up there. DeedeeTKU sat in 4th. What about Rompu? He's just coming in towards the final sector as the camera van picks him up. There he is, up towards the final chicane now. Let's see what Rompu's got to offer us here. Kenny's done for the session as well, so Rompu's the only driver out there on a lap. Here he comes up towards the line, driving the number 31, Rompu. Here he comes, and he goes up to 5th there, so he does improve a little bit. Goes from 6th to 5th, pushes Cam down a position. Cam managed to go into 6th near the end of the session, so his final lap counted for something, but not the usual fireworks we're expecting from Cam. So that looks like it's going to be the grid order then. So D-Crocs and Will lining up on the front row with Euphoric State and DeedeeTKU behind them. Then we got Rompu and Cam in 5th and 6th. Rakim and Lightblade in 7th and 8th places. Kenny and Scuderia Paul, Maze Gamer, Hit Jesus, Sergey and Hype Scholzer rounding out the field. So an interesting qualifying session there. D-Crocs is going to be the man starting at the front. Did an absolute belter there. Will Friedman, the only driver who's able to really get close to him there, 2/10 off. But Euphoric State not too far off, 6/10. He's got DeedeeTKU very close with him. The battle for the podium spots is going to be electric. You've got Euphoric State all the way down to Lightblade, so 3rd to 8th. That's 6 drivers separated by 2/10 of a second. So it's going to be really, really exciting to see how it pans out for the podium spots. D-Crocs and Will, I'm sure, are going to have a great battle for the lead, and you never know, these guys who battle the podiums could be dragged into the fight for the lead if D-Crocs and Will start slowing each other down, or maybe trip over each other a little bit. Then who knows, it could be anybody's race. So we're definitely going to be in for a treat, that is for sure. 14 drivers out on the track, 13 of whom set lap times. Hype Scholzer didn't get a lap in the end. Sergey Zainalov, the big surprise of this session though, down in 13th place in this quali session, so it is a real shock to see him down there when you consider the talent that he's got, and maybe he needs a little bit of rain just to give him that chance to shine and show what he can do, because we all know that now we're almost ready to go for the sprint race. Bit of a delay getting going here, not sure. Yeah, not really sure what the delay is about, but hopefully we will be proceeding to the next session shortly, because everybody's sat in the pits, nobody's moving, so I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But while we're sat here, guys, let us know in the comments who you think is going to be taking this win, who's our favourite, who's our money on. If any of you got teammates in this race, let us know. Let us know who they're flying the flag for. We know that obviously Sergey driving for Team Run DJC. We've got Maze Gamer representing Pro Laps. Lightblade also in Team Run DJC, as well as Rompu. So yeah, lots of drivers being represented by certain teams. We got Joram says, good luck racers. Good to see Joram in the comments here. Obviously races in our F1 league over on F1 2020, soon to be F1 2021, with the league starting up next month when the new game comes out. So 3 minutes left to go here until the start of the formation lap. Joram reckons that it's going to be Will and Raki for the win. Well, Friedman's got a good chance here. Joram, I've got to say, he did a very strong lap in the qualifying session, only driving to get close to D-Crocs, and Will often goes better in the races, so he's definitely going to have a chance here against D-Crocs. Raki's also in the fight there. He's not far off of Euphoric State's time. The gap between 3rd and 8th places was so tight. 0.2 of a second separated the drivers from 3rd to 8th, so it really is so tight in this qualifying session. Absolutely anything can happen. What is going to happen? That, I suppose, is the question on everybody's lips at this point. And all I can say to that one is stay tuned and find out. then, ladies and gentlemen, we are racing here at Zolder for the Supercup first round, for the fifth round of the season here, first race of the evening, and we've got Will Friedman leading this race ahead of D-Crocs by 7/10 of a second. Euphoric State just behind them, Rompu, DeedeeTKU, Camdiz in P6 with Lightblade 7th. There's MazeGamer, RaKiMaJe, Kenny, Sergey in 11th place, Scooter Rear, Paul, Hype Shoulder, and Jesus Callum at the back. We've got somebody in the lobby, Copezo, has unfortunately joined a little bit late in the day, but Will Friedman's got himself ahead of D-Crocs there, up into the lead of the race at the start, and he's now got the ascendancy very much here. Euphoric State doing a good job keeping these guys in sight. At the moment we've got Rompu just behind, DeedeeTKU has dropped off and has now got Lightblade, Camdiz and MazeGamer in hot pursuit here. RaKiMaJe's dropping off for these guys a little bit at the moment, but Will trying to stretch a gap here to D-Crocs, and he's got Euphoric State on the back of him here. We've got side-by-side action here coming up towards the chicane as the cameraman decides to take a day off, but comes back to it. Here we go, and great stuff there from the cameraman, eventually picking him up, and it looks like we've got MazeGamer having a little bit of a ding-dong there with Lightblade, and Lightblade getting run out the wide a little bit. He's going to try and hang it out. Maze is going to hold the inside line. It's going to go side by side once again. Is Maze going to be late on the brakes? No, tucks back in. Thinks better of that one, but Lightblade's gone deep into the corner, and Maze is going to sneak back up the inside there. Straight racing there as Lightblade gets it a little bit wrong, and unfortunately for him loses the position to RaKiMaJe as well. Will Friedman though still leads this race. He's got just over a second now to D-Crocs at the front. Euphoric State still keeping him very much within sight at the moment. Rompu, DeedeeTKU, Camdiz and Lightblade. There is Lightblade with MazeGamer just behind him. Oh yes, a bit of a twitch there coming out of the last corner. Gets a little bit onto the grass. He doesn't want to be losing too many positions now. It's not MazeGamer, I do apologise, it's Kenny there behind Lightblade. He's going from bad to worse at the moment. Needs to get himself out of this rot. Noticing there Kenny's on the pad. Very, very surprising. Didn't realise that. Will Friedman still leading this race by 0.8 of a second ahead of D-Crocs, Euphoric State, Rompu, DeedeeTKU to top 5. Camdiz trying to reel these guys in, just bringing that gap down to the front runners ever so slightly there. But some exciting racing here in the first couple of laps at Zolder. As Will looks like he's pulled out a bit of a gap here to D-Crocs, 1.1 now between these two. But Will Friedman needs to keep up this electric start to the race to continue to build on this momentum that he's got. Looks like Sergey pulling up onto the back of this mid-pack battle a little bit now, as we've got Scooter Rear, Paul and Hype Shoulder battling out over 12th place. These two seem to have run into problems in the opening couple of laps. Jesus Cannon's still running around in P14 at the moment. It's been a difficult start to this race, a disastrous opening couple of laps for him as Rilf's coming out of the last corner. 1.2 is his gap to D-Crocs. Euphoric State still hounding, hassling D-Crocs, still looking for any way past. Out onto the start finish straight now, having a look, trying to distract him in the mirrors if he can, but I don't think D-Crocs is going to be any way faced by that in towards turn 1. Rompu's still sat just behind him. We've got Cam has got ahead of DeedeeTKU up into 5th, but they both lost time to the leaders there. Must have been battling a little bit too much. We got MazeGamer 7th. RaKiMaJe is still trying to hold off Lightblade, who's managed to shake off Kenny a little bit now in that battle for 9th place, but he's very much trying to get back into this battle with RaKiMaJe at the moment. Will though 1.6 seconds ahead of D-Crocs now, as Euphoric State still trying to push D-Crocs to the absolute nth degree. Rompu 0.6 of a second off for the back of Euphoric State. These three guys coming in towards the chicane now, continuously losing time to the race leader Will Friedman. Although having said that, D-Crocs did take a 10th back in that first sector there, so maybe starting to come back a little bit now. Will though has got this one in control for the time being. He just needs to continue this momentum that he's got and keep doing exactly what he's doing at this point. Battle continuing to rage on here. We've got RaKiMaJe with Lightblade in hot pursuit still. These two have been absolutely bumper to bumper for a few laps now. An engaging first 3 laps here at Zolder, but Will's continuing to open up here at the front. Euphoric State has now got Rompu pretty close to the back of him coming in towards this final chicane here. Onto the brakes they come, still as you were in this battle. Cam's pulled out a bit of a gap to DeedeeTKU. There's now 2.8 seconds separating those two, so Cam's got a little bit of a buffer back to him. MazeGamer's still got RaKiMaJe very, very close in proximity to him, half a second separating these two out of the last corner, as Lightblade still very, very much there if these two make a mistake, and Sergey and Kenny just behind these in 10th and 11th places. Sergey's actually got ahead of Kenny up into 10th, so he's made that move somewhere. Didn't see where he did that, but he's got himself into the position. Scooter Paul has gapped up shoulder a little bit in this fight for 12. Jesus in the pits, don't know what's happened to him there, but it's clearly gone a bit wrong for him in this race. But Will still leads ahead of G-Crocs, and he's still got Euphoric State very close behind, but still hasn't been able to get the move done on him so far in this race. As we see a battle going on here for 7th, it looks like Maze is still holding on ahead of Raki, and Lightblade's dropped off him a little bit coming through that chicane there. Sergey's all over the back of Lightblade now as well, having a little look, but look at this, 3 cars, pretty much a train there, as Raki still keeps Lightblade behind him. But this is just incredibly close racing between these two, as now Raki's going to defend to the inside, try and send Lightblade round the long way. He's not going to be able to get it around there. Sergey and Kenny still watching this in front of them. There is Paul and Hype Shoulder still riding around at the back of the field for now. Over the line to complete lap 5 of the race though. Will has had his gap sort of eaten into a little bit here by D-Crocs. D-Crocs is now almost within a second of him. It was almost 2 seconds a little while ago. D-Crocs is now a couple of seconds clear of Rompu, who's still got Euphoric State behind him, but for how much longer is he going to be able to keep him at bay? Euphoric State looks like he's got a little bit more pace at the moment. The momentum is definitely with him at this point. Lazy Camel says Kenny racing for NRQ Racing. My money is on Will for this one. Will absolutely doing bits right now. The Lazy Camel looks very much like he's got this one in hand. Steve's saying something in another language, not sure what that is. And Joram saying, uh-oh, I can hear Raki struggling down there. Well, to be fair, he's still in that battle for 7th place, although he's dropped off, hasn't he? Look at that. You know, he hasn't. He's had a moment. He's obviously had an incident somewhere. Raki has dropped down to 11th place here in this race, so he's fallen off of that battle with Maze, Sergey, Kenny and Lightblade, and he's now way off of them. So Joram, you absolutely bang on there. Something's gone horribly wrong in Raki's race in this one. But Will still leads by 1.1 seconds ahead of D-Crocs right now. These guys coming in towards the middle part of this lap. We've got Rompu, Euphoric State, actually probably the closing part of the lap, to be honest, not really the middle part. But Will's still holding on for now. Responded a little bit over the course of this lap. The gap was down at pretty much a second before. It's now 1.1, so he's found a 10th on D-Crocs, but D-Crocs is definitely keeping that pressure on him and giving him something to think about here in this race. How much is he going to be able to take this fight to Will? We'll have to wait and see. D-Crocs obviously was on pole position for this one, so he had the pace in the qualifying session, but Will made an absolutely flying start and got himself into the lead when he needed to. As you see, Rompu having to defend here. He's getting a move back on Euphoric State there. So Euphoric State obviously got past him coming down the start finish straight, but he's got a bit deep into turn 1, and Rompu's back up the inside into 3rd. So these two having a bit of a dice here. No, it's not. It's actually Cam Diz. I'm really sorry, guys. The timing board on this game is on PlayStation is absolutely horrendous. It doesn't actually tell you what the positions are. But that was Rompu's obviously pulled away from Euphoric State. Euphoric State's now been passed by Cam Diz. Cam Diz up into P4. Will's still 1.3 seconds ahead of D-Crocs right now at the front of the field. These two continuing to dice it out for the lead of the race. Rompu and Cam just behind Euphoric State, still sticking to the back of Cam for now. deedeeTKU running around in 6th place at the moment. Got a bit of a gap back to this man Maze, who's got Sergey breathing down his neck. Sergey's only bringing himself back into this race. Hasn't been an easy start for him, but he is now making progress here through the field. We've still got Kenny just watching this unfold. In fact, Kenny's still behind Lightblade, so he's being passed by Lightblade. Lightblade's got himself up into 9th there ahead of Kenny. RaKiMaJe just behind these in 11th place still. Hype Shoulders got himself ahead of Paul up into 12th place. Interesting stuff there between those two. Didn't see that one on the stream. But coming over the line now to complete lap 7, Will leads the race, pulled out a bit of D-Crocs on that lap. He's now got 1.6 seconds. He pulled out half a second there on that one lap alone. He is flying at the moment. Here's Will Friedman, and D-Crocs is continuing to gap Rompu, who's sat in 3rd at the moment in that final podium spot. Cam Diz running around in 4th. He's got Euphoric State just behind him, but he's started to gap him a little bit now since making that move. And Cam Diz could be sniffing a podium here. He's only 1.6 seconds off of Rompu, so if he continues the way he's going at the moment, then he could definitely pick up that 3rd spot. Just needs to keep doing exactly the race that he's been driving so far. minus the start, but gap between Will and Decrox up to 1.7. Will's found another 10th there coming through the first sector. Rompu's still got about 1.1 back to Cam Diz and Euphoric State within 8/10 of Cam. These two separated by 2 seconds. These three, sorry, separated by 2 seconds in this battle for 3rd place. DeedeeTKU running all by himself there in 6th. Maze has got Sergey still just behind him, but Maze looks like he's got the measure of him for now. Lightblade's now hunting these two down. Now he's got ahead of Kenny. He can try and focus his efforts on Maze and Sergey. And Raki is giving pressure to Kenny at the moment as well. It looks like he's closing the gap a little bit. Although having said that, coming through the middle sector so far, he's dropped off a bit. Gap was 6/10 at the beginning of the middle sector at the first sector checkpoint, and it's now gone up to considerably more than that. So maybe Kenny's got a trick up his sleeve here, and he's going to be able to give Raki a good battle here. But Will Friedman over the line to start lap 9. 1.8 is his gap. He's continuing to eke out that gap. He's just responding when he needs to at the moment. Is Will Friedman. Overall, Decrox seems to have pace at certain points in the race, but then Will Friedman just manages to pull some pace out of somewhere, and every time it looks like Decrox is making inroads, Will just pulls out another trick and it's like, yep, go on, try and beat that one. Rompu's still sat in 3rd, but Cam is continuing to just chip away at that gap as he has been for some time here in this race. Friedman still leads though by 1.8 seconds. Corompu is going to be looking in his mirrors pretty soon. Cam is absolutely on a charge, but Euphoric State's come back at him, and I think maybe Cam might have made a bit of a mistake, because this is Euphoric State. Oh, he gets a big slide on over the curve there. Definitely got a bit sideways, kept onto it though, but he's trying to close the gap here to Cam, but he's just trying to push the limits a little bit too much by the looks of it. DJPhilgreen still sat there in P6 at the moment, still 6 seconds off of this battle, as now car number 67 picked up a drive through. That's Kenny there, has maybe been pushing the track limits a little bit too much. Unfortunate stuff there for Kenny, as he's just been maybe pushing it just a little bit over the edge, but Will Friedman still leading by 1.8 seconds ahead of Decrox. The gap has stayed the same for the last lap or so, so Will's got the answers, but Decrox is going to surely just take it up a notch. I'm sure he'll be throwing caution to the wind and really going for it in these closing couple of laps. Rompu still has 3rd place, and he's gapped Cam a little bit. Euphoric State now really close to the back of Cam, and Cam's probably more focused on what's going on in his mirrors than he is about what's up ahead of him, so that's definitely going to be taking up a lot of his attention. He gets onto the gravel a little bit now. Euphoric State's going to have a run up towards the chicane. Is he going to be close enough to think of a move? He has a little look to the inside, but no avail to that one. Cam is too wise to that one as he sees him in the mirrors and doesn't get too phased by Euphoric State trying to distract him. It's still as you were. Cam Diz holding on for 4th place. Maze Gamer and Sergey still fighting over 7th place. These two have been going at it for a few laps. Lightblade in the pits, so I'm not sure what's going on there with Lightblade, but 7/10 of a second separating Maze and Sergey right now, as Raki is still running around in 9th place, 6 seconds behind these two. Gap between Will and Decrox has gone up to 2.4 seconds, so he's managed to get some breathing space here as well. Over the course of this lap, he's saved the best till last, and he's now absolutely on a mission here. Just under 5 minutes left to go here in this race. Will Friedman, your leader from Decrox. Rompu has managed to really gap these two now. Cam and Euphoric State are just having a battle with each other for the scraps for 4th place here. DJPhilgreen still running all by himself in 6th. Maze Gamer 7th. Sergey and Raki separated by not much at all as they're coming towards the final chicane now. Sorry, Sergey and Maze. What's Euphoric State got to give Cam? Has he got any answers to him? Sergey still trying to get anything done with Maze if he can, and Maze gets a poor run coming out of the first corner, and Sergey looks to the inside, side by side coming into the braking zone. Sergey's going to hug the curb on the inside, but Maze just hanging it around the outside and holding on for now. Good racing there. Sergey had to be patient, had to probably slam the brakes on there to avoid running into Maze as Maze slammed the door, and it's still as you were. Maze holding on for 7th. Euphoric State still just behind Cam in this battle for 4th. Cam's managed to pull up a bit of a gap here coming into this middle sector towards the chicane. Will still leading here by 2.2. He's got the measure of D-Crocs for the time being, as we see D-Crocs going really wide there onto the grass. Keeps it going, keeps it pointing on the track. But he's really throwing caution to the wind now. He's just putting everything into this. Maybe thinking, well, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to matter if I finish 3rd or 4th to get the points in the bag. But with sprint race not being as lucrative in terms of points as the feature race, he can definitely just bring this one home in P2 and continue to net that decent haul of points. But Will is the man currently with the plan. He's had the ascendancy in this race. He's currently doing a really solid job. He's pulled out a bit more of a gap to D-Crocs on that lap. The gap now up to 2.6. So Will's got the momentum at the moment. He just needs to bring this home for another couple of laps. I believe we're on the penultimate lap of the race, so this should be nearly there now. Cam has got a bit of a gap back to Euphoric State, as we saw Euphoric State just going a little bit wide there coming through turn 2. That's given Cam just that little bit of a buffer there in 4th place, as Sergey's dropped off of Maze quite considerably now. 3 seconds separating those two in 7th and 8th, so I don't know if Sergey's made a mistake there on that lap. Euphoric State now over a second off for the back of Cam, and Will continuing to lead this race with a lap and a half left to go here at Zolder for the sprint race for round 5 of Motive Racing's Porsche Supercup. Kenny looks like he's now a long way ahead of Paul. Paul looked like he was closing up on him on the timing board, but now there's a massive gap between them, so I'm not 100% what's happened there. Paul might have had a moment. Having said that though, I don't know how he could have been so close to Kenny with Hype Shoulder having been so close to him for the whole of this race, so I don't know whether that's just a glitch there. Oh, as he gets loose there, Hype Shoulder bins it coming out of turn 1 onto the gravel a little bit. Oh, he's struggling to get it going again as the car gets sideways. He puts the power down. Let's stop watching him. Oh, Hype Shoulder there getting it all wrong, as Will might be on the last lap here, but it could be the penultimate lap. I'm not 100% yet. They may have crossed the line at about 1 minute 30. It could be very close as to whether or not we have 1 or 2 more laps. Oh, as we see the back marker, they're losing it, and D-Crocs gets caught up in it. Oh no, he gets caught up in another driver's accident there. He's not going to be at all happy with that. Hype Shoulder was losing the car coming out of turn 3, and D-Crocs, the unfortunate bystander there, he's now been overtaken by Rompu, Cam and Euphoric State. D-Crocs down to 5th place here in this race. That has not gone to plan at all for him. He was keeping Will Friedman honest in the closing laps and looked like he was going to bring it home for a very respectable P2, but he's dropped off for the podium down to 5th. Will Friedman, completely oblivious to all that, is coming into the final few corners here in this sprint race. He has not put a foot wrong here in this one. Got the jump ahead of D-Crocs at the start and has not looked back since. Has been in control of this race. He's got 2 corners left to go, a left and a right for the final chicane. Our French lead coordinator, standings man here at Motive Racing, comes into the brakes into the final corner. Here he is in the number 8 Porsche. He's going to come out of this final turn out onto the start finish straight now, and it's going to be a victory for him. He's going to do absolutely brilliant stuff in the championship point standings, but there he is, flash the lights from Will as he takes the checker flag and the win here. Rompu comes over to take 2nd place ahead of Cam Diz, who completes the podium. Euphoric State coming up towards the line to finish in 4th ahead of D-Crocs in 5th. D-Crocs is going to be absolutely fuming with that, as Hype Shoulder lost the car coming out of turn 3, ultimately collected him in that little melee there, as deedeeTKU comes over in 6th. Maze Gamer is going to come out of this last corner to finish in 7th place ahead of Sergey. Sergey closed the gap on the final lap, but it wasn't enough, as Maze comes in 8th, Maze 7th, Sergey 8th, Raki in 9th. Kenny's going to come round a long way behind these, about half a lap behind them. Here he comes in towards the final couple of corners now, and it's going to be a P10 for Kenny, a solid top 10 position there. Good points here for his championship campaign in the number 67, but I'm sure not what he would have been hoping for coming into this one. He was having good battles with Sergey and Raki in the earlier stages of this race, but here he comes in towards the final chicane now. I'm sure he's not going to be too disappointed with that. Some very good points there in the bag for him as Kenny comes out of the last corner up towards the line to finish the race. Scooter Paul's going to be the last man over the line, currently sat in 11th place. Hype Shoulder, Lightblade, Jesus, Kobzo, he didn't start the race, but those three, Hype Shoulder, Lightblade and Jesus, to lap down Scooter Paul, the last driver on the lead lap, coming up towards the line. There is the checkered flag, and over the line he comes. That is the sprint race there. Will Friedman taking the win ahead of Rompu, very fortuitously there, picking up second place with Cam in third. D-Crocs getting robbed of a podium finish, down in 5th place after that contact with the back marker. Euphoric State finished ahead of him in 4th. But stay tuned, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly for the feature race. Stick around, and have that live. We'll have the feature race qualifying session on in around 5 minutes. So yeah, don't go anywhere.
You came to slay this peloton. Yes to you, Claire from Brighton.
Lights on.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Incredibly close qualifying session currently in progress here for the feature race. Lightblade on pole by 18 thousandths, but the top 6 covered by 2 tenths as Lightblade comes over the line. Can he improve on his personal best? No, he can't. But Lightblade definitely out there looking to try and improve on what was not the best of races in the sprint race. By the way, welcome back. My name's Andy. If you haven't already realised, and we're here for the second race of the evening, the feature race coming up after this. This is obviously the second qualifying session, and the feature race double the distance, 40 minutes it will be altogether. So plenty more time for some exciting action, close wheel to wheel racing in these Porsches. We see Cam go top of the leaderboard there, 2 tenths clear of Lightblade. So suddenly the order at the top looking a little bit more spread out now. So there's now 4 tenths separating the top 7 instead of 2 tenths. But Cam Diz doing a great job there, top of that leaderboard, blowing everybody out of the water for the time being. Euphoric State and deedeeTKU both in the pits, as is RaKi. So these 3 guys obviously not expecting to improve. Scooter Airport also in the pits as well. We've got CmecOnline out on the track now, so that's good to see. CmecOnline obviously was supposed to be racing in the sprint race but couldn't get here in time. It's good to see that he's found his way out on track now, so welcome along to the Porsche Supercup, CmecOnline. Good to have you with us. But Cam Diz, the man at the top of the leaderboard, what can Lightblade do about that? Has he got anything up his sleeve here? It's going to be his final run of the session with the clock just hitting 0 right about now. Is he going to be able to deliver the goods? Out of the last corner he comes, up towards the line. What is this going to be for Lightblade? Yellow flags out, shouldn't be a problem. He crosses over and he can't. Oh, he improves by a tenth, but not enough to get himself on pole. Cam Diz retains that provisional pole for now. Will Friedman's coming through the first chicane. Looks as though Sergey's backed out of it. Oh, as Rompu gets sideways coming through turn 1, he's finished his lap. That's why he'll be qualifying in P6. So Will Friedman is going to be the last man across the line here in this session. Takes liberties through that chicane. You can get away with that though, running over that artificial grass on the inside of the track through this very, very long, never-ending right-hander, which kills the left rear tyres. Up the hill, down towards this final sector of this lap. What has Will Friedman got up his sleeves? Our standings man, Cam Diz, has just done a 1:30.8. Where has that come from? That is absolutely insane stuff there from Cam Diz. Will Friedman though, coming in towards the final chicane now. What is it going to be for him as he comes onto the brakes, keeps it tidy, slightly clipping that curb on the inside in the first part, nicely taking it out of the exit of the final part of the chicane up towards the line. What is this going to be for Will? He crosses the line and he can't improve, stays in P3. So Cam Diz has just absolutely blown everybody away there right at the end of the session. I do not know where that came from, but Cam Diz doing an absolutely phenomenal lap. Sensational stuff there from Cam Diz. So that is the qualifying session then, that's it done. Cam Diz on pole, Lightblade second, Will Friedman and deedeeTKU on the second row, D-Crocs and Rompu in 5th and 6th, Euphoric State and Sergey lining up behind them with RaKi and Kenny in 9th and 10th, Maze Gamer, Jesus in 11th and 12th places, and Scooter Paul CmecOnline. Hype Shoals are lining up at the back of the field for this one. ladies and gentlemen, we are moments away from the start of the beach race of the evening, and it's lights out. It's green, green, green. Here we go. We're racing for the second race. It looks like CmecOnline gets a good getaway, still leading to turn 1. Lightblade on the outside there's trying to fend off Will. Will seems to get a good run coming out of turn 1 up towards the second corner. Here we come. DeeCrocs has got ahead of DeedeeTKU up into 4th as we see Rompu trying to go up the inside there of DeedeeTKU. Euphoric State just behind them. Sergey, looks like there's been an incident there. Raki's back down to the back of the field. I don't know what's happened there with Raki. He's dropped out. Kenny is on the back of it's on the back of Sergey right now as Maze is trying to get involved in the action. Oh, as we see there, bit of a twitch there involving some of the drivers. Looks like Cam's got away at the front by 2.3 seconds ahead of Rompu, and Will's very close to the back of Rompu, but Cam has absolutely left them for dead in these first few corners. Incredible stuff here as we see a bit of contact there in the mid-pack. Bit of contact going on as Scuderia pulls just behind where that all went off. DeedeeTKU involved in some of that action there, but Cam is currently leading as we see a bit of lag going on between some of these drivers. Cam clear away by 2.3 seconds at the end of the first sector. Rompu sat in second. Cameron's doing some silly dance, don't know what he's doing. Will Friedman in second, 4 seconds off the back of Cam now. Sergey looking to the outside. What a start to this race Sergey has had as Maze is up the inside. Scuderia pull up into 4th. Kenny down to in 6th place, but Scuderia Paul's picked up a drive-through penalty though for obviously doing something. Don't know if he jumped at the start maybe, but Cam coming out of the last corner with quite a sizable lead here over Will. Cam has absolutely blazed the trail here on this opening lap. He is flying. Sergey making an unbelievable start on this first lap. He's up into 3rd place. He's only 3/10 off for the back of Will, now 8/10 after they cross the line. Maze Gamer and Scuderia Paul making up that lead pack, and then Euphoric State, Kenny and DeedeeTKU battling over 6th place as we see DeedeeTKU getting really wide there coming through turn 1, and I think that's going to allow Kenny to look around the outside into turn 2 unless DeedeeTKU goes late on the brakes. Bit of lag there. Oh, as they crash into each other, the lag has caused a big incident there. The server playing up a little bit. I don't know what's going on here with the lag. Bit of incidents going on here at the early stages of this feature race, but Cam still leads this one by 4.5 seconds at the front over Will Friedman. There's Sergey still just behind him, but at the moment Cam is opening up at the front, and Sergey's sort of keeping with Will at this point as Maze is still running in 4th for Euphoric State there, has had to cut the chicane, which might allow Rompu to get past him. Scuderia Paul is also in that pack. He's come through as well, so Rompu's got ahead of Scuderia Paul, and they're both getting ahead of Euphoric State there, as now DeeCrocs is in the middle of this pack, and you've got Kenny and Rakim on the back of these with Lightblade as well. Lightblade, after a promising qualifying, is currently down in 11th place here in this race, so not the starter he would have been wanting in this feature race, as we see DeeCrocs up the inside there, as the cameraman once again isn't picking them up. I'm clicking on these names and they're not picking them up, but DeeCrocs there was up the inside, up into P7 there of Maze, and he's now looking at Paul, but Maze is going to try and come back at DeeCrocs in towards the front chicane. Has to cut over the grass there, over the gravel. Maze goes, and I think that's going to be DeeCrocs back into the position there, unless he managed to get a good exit out of the gravel onto the track. DeeCrocs there flashing his lights saying, come on Maze, you kept onto that position because you went over the gravel, and Maze has actually got away with that one relatively scot-free. He will get a warning, so if he keeps doing that, then he will eventually get a penalty. Hopefully he learns his lesson in that little exchange, but it's given Paul a chance to just relax a little bit with these guys fighting it out behind them. Kenny, Raki and Lightblade fighting it out, and Lightblade's up the inside of Raki there, up into 10th place, so he's seized on Raki running a little bit wide coming through that section of the track. Did not need a second invitation there. Cam though leads the field by 5.9 seconds ahead of Will. Will's gapped Sergey a little bit. Euphoric State there sat in 4th. Rompu's dropping off the back of Euphoric State. Just Paul there's got Maze and DeeCrocs still fighting out behind him. And once again there, do you see drivers cutting the chicanes, and Maze tucks in, and this time loses out to DeeCrocs by cutting the corner, and DeeCrocs up into 7th place, as we see there Rompu getting a little bit out of shape coming through the corner there. Kenny lagging all over the place there in the background. Oh, look at that, that is awful. That is really awful there. He's lagging absolutely all over the show, as Lightblade just behind him, Raki also. But Paul with the drive-through penalty, obviously that would affect him towards the end of this race. Kenny all over the gaff. I don't know what is happening with his connection, but something is clearly wrong in that household. I don't know what he's streaming or what he's doing or what he's downloading, but my god. Sorry Kenny. But Cam leads the race by 6 seconds ahead of Will Friedman. Sergey sat in third. Euphoric State continues to drop off the pace lead pack just a little bit. Paul has got Paul's been disqualified. Oh, he had to do his drive-through within 3 laps, and he hasn't done it, so he's out of the race. Paul is out of the race 3 laps into this one, so disaster there for him, and that's now kind of ruined that battle, to be honest. But RaKiMaJe still just ahead of Lightblade. These two are 9/10 of a second separated. Oh, as Lightblade gets loose, and he puts it into the wall, gets a big contact there. Front end goes absolutely slamming into the barriers, and now DD coming up onto the back of Lightblade now in this battle for what's going to be 9th place very shortly. Zoe currently running in 12th place, a little way behind these right now. But Cam still leads by just under 6 seconds. Will's keeping the gap to Cam now. Now he's got himself into clean air, and he's not got Sergey hassling him. He's kind of matching Cam. Whether he's got the pace to bring this fight to him, we'll have to see. But he's definitely got an opportunity here. As Paul, somebody's left the session. It wasn't Paul, but somebody's left the session, so I don't know what's going on. Jesus is out of the race. He has left the server. But Cam coming into the final corner, 5.9 is his gap over Will Friedman at the moment. Sergey's still running in a great podium spot right now, doing a really good job here in this feature race. You've got Euphoric State there sat in 4th, Rompu 5th, DeeCrocs running in 6th place at the moment, with Kenny just behind there in 7th place. RaKiMaJe running in 8th at the moment. Lightblade 6.7 seconds off the back of RaKiMaJe, and he's still got DeedeeTKU Hass in the back of him as they're coming into the chicane. I think Lightblade will have a bit of damage on the car after that hefty whack into the wall coming out of turn 2 though, on that previous lap, or on the lap they're on. They're just about to finish the lap that he had that hefty whack into the wall on, but he's still holding on for the time being ahead of Zoe. How much longer though is he going to be able to keep him at bay? Camdiz still leads by just under 6 seconds, still continuing to maintain that gap to Will. Let's see if Will's managed to pull it. Oh, he has! Cam must have made a mistake coming through that first sector, because the gap is now down to 4 seconds, so he's starting to reel him in as Will, and he just needs to stay consistent. We could be seeing a great battle here for this win. Cam obviously got the jump at the start, managed to leave everybody in his dust, but over this sort of last lap or so, he's started to make a couple of mistakes, and Will Friedman is now on it here, so maybe Will Friedman might be taking the battle to Cam here in this lead battle. Sergey's still running in 3rd place in that final podium spot at the moment. Euphoric State running in 4th, has pulled out a bit of gap to Rompu. He's got DeeCrocs now breathing down his neck. DeeCrocs, after a difficult start to the race, is now trying to make gains in this race. He's made his way back through the pack and has made a few overtakes here. He's trying to get onto the back of Rompu if he can, coming in towards the final couple of corners of this lap that they're on at the moment. Half a second separating these two. DeeCrocs needs to get a good run here coming out towards this final chicane. He's having a little look, trying to distract him in the mirrors if he can, as Kenny once again is lagging everywhere. RaKiMaJe sat in 8th, Lightblade running in 9th place. He's now shaking off the battle with DeedeeTKU just a little bit over the course of this last lap or so, but Rompu and DeeCrocs separated by half a second. This is the closest battle out on the track. Will's continued to take chunks out of Cam's lead though. It's now down to 2.7, so he is really bringing this battle to him. This could get very interesting indeed, because I think Cam may have a bit of damage on that car. I can't imagine how he would have first lost 2 seconds in that first sector on the previous lap, but then lost another 1.3 seconds in the rest of the lap. 7/10 in that first sector right there. So I can't see how he hasn't got damage. I think he must have had a bit of a skirmish or something. Maybe tapped the wall. I'm trying to think of places where the wall's quite close to the track. Maybe the last section of the track. Possibly he's had a bit of contact with the wall. He hasn't lost him too much time in the actual crash itself, but the damage will affect him for the rest of the race. As we see Sergey there getting a little bit loose onto the curb, holds it together though. He's got Euphoric State rearing him in for 3rd. Rompu and DeeCrocs separated by 8/10. Rompu's managed to respond a little bit to the pressure from DeeCrocs over the course of the last lap or so. Gap between Cam and Will still coming down. It's under 2 seconds now. So Will is doing absolute bits bringing this gap down. Cam got away at the start, but Will's definitely not given up, and he has been chasing him down ever since. Coming out of the last corner now to finish lap 6 of the race. Let's see what the gap is between them. It's about 1.6, I'd say. It's 1.5. So yeah, it's definitely very tight indeed between these two. Euphoric State now within 6/10 of a second of Sergey as well. Rompu's managed to just halt that charge from DeeCrocs a little bit. He's pulled out a bit of a gap here on that lap, so Rompu's definitely picked up the pace ever so slightly. It's now turning into quite an exciting race here. Battle for the lead. Cam and Will, you got Also another tussle for the podium spots with Sergey and Euphoric State, Rompu and D-Crocs, looking like D-Crocs is now dropping off the back of Rompu just a little bit. Oh, it's Sergey gets a slightly compromised run coming out of turn 3, and now Euphoric State's going to look to the outside here. He's going to have the inside, sorry no, he's going to have the outside for the chicane, but Sergey's going to cover that line off. One of the best defensive drivers here at Motive Racing is Sergey, and holds on for now in that 3rd place. Cam and Will still battling it out, but Cam's got the lead by 0.3 of a second at the moment. Let's see what Sergey and Euphoric State are doing as the cameraman decides to pick them up as and when he wishes to, but still just about 1/10 of a second separating these two at this point. Rompu has pulled out 1.32 D-Crocs now, so he looks pretty safe and secure in that one. Kenny's still running in 4th, sorry 7th, 4 seconds behind. I was thinking of 4 seconds rather when I said 4th. Rakim still sat in 8th. He's got 4 seconds back to Lightblade, who's still keeping the gap to DeedeeTKU. It's been at about 2 seconds for a few laps now, so that's staying as it was. Cam though, just half a second ahead of Will as they're coming out of the last corner now to complete the 7th lap of this race. Will is going to try and pick up that slipstream if he can, but Cam looks like he's got enough of a buffer to be safe into the braking zones for the time being. Sergey and Euphoric State still separated by not much, coming over the line to complete their lap, and for now U4 is still a little bit too far back. D-Crocs has gained a 10th on Rompu coming through that final sector, but still it's not going to really pay any dividends unless he does it consistently, lap after lap after lap, and brings the gap down. But Cam and Will, half a second between them, out onto this long straight which leads up towards the first chicane, and Will looks like he gets a nice exit there. He's going to surely be having a look into the chicane, has a little distraction technique there, moves to the left but he can't get it done, and for the time being Cam is clinging on to the race lead. How much longer is he going to be able to weather this storm though, with Will increasing the tempo here in this feature race? It's been gripping stuff here in this one so far, but Cam has still got this lead by the slenderest of margins over Will, and Sergey Zainlov still sat in 3rd place at the moment ahead of Euphoric State. As we see Cam Diz out in front, half a second he's got other gap back to Will Friedman at the moment. Still separated by half a second right now as they're coming towards the first chicane. Just about a third of the way into this race, and Cam's still doing what he has to do. Will gained a lot of time on him in the space of a couple of laps, but I think Cam's now picked it up a bit. Now he can see the threat of Will. He's started to respond. Euphoric State very close to the back of Sergey. He's got ahead of him. He's lost a position. Euphoric State is up into 3rd. Rompu now only 1.2 seconds off of this battle for 3rd. As D-Crocs has dropped off of them quite considerably now, down in 6th place. Cam's gapped Will a little bit on this lap so far. Maybe Will's made a mistake. I'd say he's about a couple of seconds, 2.5 maybe behind him. Sergey now dropping off of U4, having lost that position, and Rompu's now having a look. Not quite close enough coming in towards the final chicane though. So 2.8 the gap between Cam and Will now. Cam has managed to restore a bit of balance to his lead here. It was obviously the runaway pole sitter, took her pole by a resounding margin in the qualifying session and had the lead early on, managed to pull out a bit of a gap. Will then reeled him in over the last few laps, but Will's clearly made a bit of a mistake, dropped him out of that run-in ever so slightly. Still plenty of time in this race though, still 25 minutes left, only 15 minutes into this one, so it's going to get very tasty, that is for sure. see Lightblade losing it, coming out of turn 3 there, puts it into the wall. He's going to have a bit of damage on the front of that car, I think. As he retires from the race, he's brought it into the pits. Oh, that is unfortunate there for Lightblade. It's all gone wrong for him there. Cam though still leads this race by 2.8 seconds ahead of Will. Euphoric State pulled out 3 seconds to Sergey since making that move a couple of laps ago. Rompu's now lining up a move here on Euphoric State. On Sergey even, sorry, I do apologise. He's a little way ahead of DeCrocs, but DeCrocs still not too far off. I think he's picked up the pace a little bit over the course of the last lap or so. The gap has come down ever so slightly in his favour. Rompu though trying to get something done with Sergey, and Sergey gets a little bit wide there out of turn 1 onto the gravel. Rompu though not close enough to capitalise on that and make the most of it. Has to tuck in and go again. But Sergey looks like he gets a poor run there coming out of turn 3, and now that's going to give Rompu the momentum. Rompu breezes past him down the straight, and he's got himself up into 4th place. Sergey didn't fight that one too hard. Knew it wasn't really worth giving it everything for. Obviously teammates at Team Run DJC, and it's not a battle worth fighting there for Sergey. So Rompu up a position into 4th. DeCrocs has really made some gains here on Rompu and Sergey over the course of the last couple of laps. He's now only 1.3 off of the back of Sergey. 1.1 now, so Sergey's dropped off of the back of Rompu ever so slightly since losing that position. DeCrocs now is on a bit of a charge though, maybe getting some second wind in this race. Didn't have the race to start, may have some damage on his car, which has held him back ever so slightly, but he's certainly giving it some at the moment. Will's 4.5 seconds off of the back of Cam now, and Cam looks like he's found his pace again. He's definitely put the hammer down. Will's got 10 seconds back to Euphoric State, who in turn has got 3.9 back to Rompu. Keep an eye on Rompu actually, because he might have the pace to challenge Euphoric State. Now he's got ahead of Sergey, he might be able to go after Euphoric State, we'll have to see. But DeCrocs now within 0.8 of a second off Sergey, as they're now coming towards the second chicane. Long way back at the moment, but he's closing in. He's definitely reeling in that number 16. And what has Sergey got to offer him? Because Sergey's been dropping back through the pack. He's been dropping like a stone here over these last few laps. He was up in 3rd a little while ago. Euphoric State and Rompu both getting past him. Sergey's defensive masterfulness clearly not at its usual level at the moment, but he's definitely going to get his elbows out for sure. DeCrocs is not going to find this easy, we know that. Gap at the front between Cam and Will's coming down a little bit, down to 3.5, but was up at 4.5 a couple of laps ago, so Will's still giving it some, still bringing himself back into this one. Oh no! Cam's lost it there, coming out of the chicane. Will is going to swoop round into the lead of the race. Oh my goodness, I did not expect that in a million years. Cam Diz completely gets a little bit too much onto the throttle there, coming out of the first chicane. Will Friedman now leads this race. Cam's lead was going up and down to Will. It was kind of like yo-yoing a little bit, but now Will Friedman has been gifted the lead on a plate. What's Cam Diz going to be able to do about that now, as he runs really wide coming through that part of the track, almost tapping the wall. Manages to keep it out of the walls though by the skin of his teeth, but just under 6 seconds the gap between Will and Cam now, and Cam has got to really fight for this one.
Keep it up.
Cam obviously had a big lead at the start, had to really get away from the rest of the pack, but now he's got to try and reel in Will. He's 6 seconds behind him. What has he got left to offer here? Euphoric State still leading this battle for third place with Rompu and D-Crocs pretty... Ah, that's a lap car. That's Kobzo there. So Euphoric State still running just ahead of Rompu in that battle for third place. D-Crocs and Sergey separated by just over a second now, so D-Crocs has gone ahead of Sergey and is pulling away. Oh, Cam's lost it again. No way, I can't believe that. Cam has binned it coming out at the first chicane in the same place he did last time. He's now going to have Euphoric State and Rompu pulling up onto the back of him. Will Friedman is going to be counting his blessings at the moment. I don't know what has happened to Cam Diz. He just had a capitulation in these last couple of laps. I don't know if his tyres are going off, if they're getting cold or what's going on, but he's now got Euphoric State and Rompu really close behind him right now. Will has pulled out quite an enormous gap here at the front. He's got 14 seconds, the winner from the sprint race. Looks like he's going to be set for a double tonight here at Zolder. Cam has now got to defend from this charging pack behind him. Euphoric State and Rompu. D-Croc's a long way back there, 5 seconds behind them. There's Kenny lagging again in 7th. But Cam Diz has 0.2 of a second back to Euphoric State as they're now coming over the line to complete lap 14 of this race. 0.7 between Cam and Euphoric State. Rompu a further half a second back. This is going to get incredibly tense though between these drivers. Cam Diz though is going to be so frustrated. He's going to be kicking himself after that. He had a comfortable lead, he had everything under control, but he loses it a couple of times coming out of that first chicane. Will Friedman took the lead, has now got a big lead at the front, and Cam is going to have to regather himself together and go again, otherwise he's going to lose out more positions and potentially even drop off the podium here. Would have been unspeakable to think of Cam Diz not finishing on the podium a couple of laps to go, but this is the situation we currently see ourselves in right now. Cam Diz coming up to the corner where he messed up last couple of times, comes through it absolutely fine this time, but he's going to be really frustrated with that. D-Croc's still running in 5th with Sergey and Kenny. No, that's Kobzo, sorry, just behind them. But wow, this has absolutely blown this wide open in this battle for second place. This has managed to pull out a bit of a gap to Euphoric State now, just over a second between them, so Cam's starting to get back into it. Euphoric State still got Rompu very close in his quarters. So Cam Diz has got through that capitulation, he's now started to come through the other side of it, but I was worried for a second there that he was just going to drop through the pack, because he seemed to be in a bit of a rut, but he's managed to get through it. Euphoric State and Rompu still 3rd and 4th, 0.2 between them as Euphoric State gets onto the gravel there a little bit, kicking up some of the dirt, holds on for now ahead of Rompu, keeping it more or less on the track. Cam Diz has brought the gap down to Will in the last lap or so. Oh, it's Rompu's having a look here on Euphoric State. As he managed to make that move, the cameraman once again deciding to go for a toilet break there. What is going on? Get some eyes on this for God's sake, as we see Euphoric State has lost the position there to Rompu, so Rompu pulling off an absolute worldy overtake there, went really late on the brakes, and he's up into that final podium spot. Really nicely done there from Rompu. Will's got a 13-second gap here over Will, continuing to do the business, but Cam is... Will still leading ahead of Cam, but Cam is 13 seconds behind him right now. But he's going slightly quicker. Last couple of the laps he's started to reel the gap down a bit. Surely he's too far behind though to make any impression on Will. And Euphoric State's got back ahead of Rompu as well. So after Euphoric State lost out to Rompu with Rompu's incredible overtake, he's now back into third place. Rompu is trying to have a look coming up towards the chicane. He's going to have the inside line though. U4 late on the brakes, and looks like he's going to hold on for now. Cuts the second part of the chicane a little bit, but keeps it together and still sat in that third spot. These guys got 6 seconds back to D-Crocs and Sergey there just in the background there in P6, 2.8 seconds off for the back of D-Crocs at this point. Here's Euphoric State now back ahead of Rompu once again. Is Rompu going to go for one of those very late moves? Oh, Euphoric State wide and Rompu almost as wide. And Rompu way too far back to go for the same move that he did on the previous lap, because we see Euphoric State coming through that part of the track very, very clean this time around. Big shout out to Nicky, welcome along to the stream, good to have him watching at the moment. Nicky obviously head of Team Prolapse, currently unfortunately May's game of the representative of Team Prolapse in this Porsche Cup series as well reserved for tonight, has had to drop out of this feature race. He wasn't doing too badly, but I think he had disconnection or something, he's not in the race at the moment. Cam bringing this gap down to Will at the front though, now just under 11 seconds between Will and Cam. Rompu's still running in third place at the moment, he's 6.7 seconds behind Cam. Euphoric State there sat in fourth. D-Crocs running 5 seconds behind Euphoric State at the moment. Sergey there is in P6, 3 seconds off for the back of D-Crocs. As D-Crocs has picked up a drive-through penalty there for track limits, so that's gone horribly wrong there for him, and now he's going to have to face the wrath of the stewards. He's going to lose a lot of time here at the end of this race. Best off just coming in and getting that done and out of the way, D-Crocs. If I'm honest with you, 3.5 seconds he's got back to Sergey. Kenny a further 10 seconds back. He could maybe come out ahead of deedeeTKU if he gets a good entry to the pits and gets on the power pretty quickly and gets a nice run as you come off the pit limiter before that left-hander which comes out onto the track. If he gets a good run through there, then he might be able to hold on ahead of deedeeTKU, who's currently running in 8th place right now. As Will's gap to Cam, 11 seconds. It's staying at around 11 seconds at the moment with 11 minutes left to go. Cam had those couple of laps where he kept making mistake after mistake, and he made about 3 spins in the space of 2 laps. Dropped back to 15 seconds behind Will. He's now got himself back into the groove, but having such a gap to try and overhaul on Will, it might not be possible for him. And you could not write this for D-Crocs. He's picked up a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and I think he's retired the car. It looks like he's called it a day. He's returned to the pit box, and I don't think he's in any mood to carry on. That is a gutting shame there for D-Crocs. That's horrible. I really do feel for him right now. I think that's his race over. I don't think he's going to be in any mood to carry on after that, as Will's now got 11 seconds still over Cam, continuing to boss this one. Rompu's pulled out about 1.8 seconds to Euphoric State and looks pretty safe and secure in that final podium spot at the moment. Sergey still sat in 5th place and doing a good job for now. Be some good points for Sergey Zainalov in the feature race where the points count for a lot more. Kenny's still lagging all over the gaff in P6. deedeeTKU in 7th, and D-Crocs is sat in that pit box. As D-Crocs is still sat in the pit box, and we've had somebody else retire from the race. I think that's Paul leaving the session. And yeah, D-Crocs has left the session, so down to 9 drivers here for the final 10 minutes of the round 5 of the Porsche Super Cup here. Second race of the evening, feature race, race 10 overall for the calendar season. Euphoric Slates managed to pull up onto the back of Romper a little bit over the course of this last lap or so. Gap was 1.8, it's now come down to well under a second. 6/10 separating these two coming in towards the final sector. As you can see, Cam Diz in the foreground there has lost a bit of time to Will, so Cam might have made a mistake somewhere. He's now 14 seconds behind Will. He was bringing that down to 11 seconds a few moments ago. In towards the final chicane though, Rompu's got that track position on Euphoric State, but he goes a little bit deep into the first part of the chicane, and that's going to give Euphoric State a really nice run here out onto the start-finish straight. He might try and make the most of that. Is he going to pull out the slipstream and try and have a look in towards turn 1? I don't think he is. It's not quite close enough, and Rompu's going to hold on for now. I don't think Euphoric State's got a very quick car in a straight line, but Rompu goes a bit wide there, coming through turn 1 onto the ground a little bit. Euphoric State's going to try and go around the outside, but Rompu hugs the curve on the inside and holds him off for now. He's going to try and run him out of road if he can. Euphoric State's going to get a nicer run through the corner. He's going to have more speed, but Rompu cuts him off. There's no way around him. Has a little look coming in towards turn 4, but he's going to have to back out of that. Rompu for now is holding on grimly here in this battle for the final podium spot. There's some great driving there. Rompu having to cover off all possible angles there, as Euphoric State's looking to the outside, coming into the first chicane, but Rompu's got that inside line and is going to cling onto that for now. But Euphoric State is going to try and get the good run here out of the corner. Down the hill they come towards the second chicane now. Rompu once again just covering off the line there, and is holding on grimly by the skin of his teeth. How much longer is he going to be able to keep Euphoric State at bay? He was really hassling him there, and Euphoric State's trying to get those runs out of the corners, but the problem he's having is that I don't think he's got a very good straight line speed. He's clearly got his car more set up towards the corners, and he's getting such good runs through these corners, and then once we get out onto these higher speed sections of the track, Rompu's just driving away from him. See, watch here. He gets a good run out of the corner, gets a nice exit, and then down this stretch, Rompu's just leaving him, completely and utterly just driving off. So Euphoric State's got no answer to him down the straights. He's got such a quick car through the corners, but then every time we get to these parts of the track, Rompu's just driving away from him. So I can't see where Euphoric State is going to get this done unless Rompu makes a mistake somewhere. It looks like Rompu should have the measure of him. LazyCamel says, what's the yellow and red lines next to the Porsche logo? Damage, penalties, or server connection? I think it's server connection, because Kenny's been lagging all over the place during this race. So I think it's definitely server connection. That would probably be the realistic conclusion to that one, LazyCamel. But he's still going. He's still, by some kind of miracle, actually is still in the race. So I don't know how that's managed to come about, but fair play. Chris Fissick in the comments saying, evening, welcome along Chris, champion of the last season's Porsche Super Cup Series here at Motive, moved to the PC, was going to be racing in this GT3 PC League, but that's unfortunately had to be postponed to a later date. Good to have Chris watching us though, as Euphoric State's still behind Rompu right now. Rompu's just got that better straight line speed, and it's doing him the world of good at this point. State's got a nice run there coming out of the penultimate corner, and Rompu's going to have to defend this one. He's finally got that toe that he would like to have got, but Rompu once again holding the inside line, and Euphoric State's not got anywhere around it, but Rompu's got wide, he's got deep into the turn one, and now that's good. It's going to be Euphoric's chance. He's gone up the inside there, he's up into third, did not need another chance there to make that one. In fact, it's second, because Cam Diz has dropped behind these two. Didn't see that one. Cam Diz has had a mare somewhere out there. He's down to 4th place. Rompu has pretty much gained 2 positions in the space of a couple of corners there due to Rompu going off, and obviously Euphoric State Euphoric State's up 2 positions, not Rompu. Damn timing board again. We wanted to say another word there, but I can't because we're on stream and that would be unprofessional. But Euphoric State, they're clouting the curb coming through the first chicane. He's going to hold on to it, I think, coming onto the brakes into the second chicane. Yeah, he does. But Rompu Cam really, really close behind him now, right as we see it's Rompu there clouting that curve a little bit now. But Cam on the back of these looking to try and regain some pride in this race. He's dropped off at the podium. He had the lead in the early stages of this race. It's all gone completely to pot for Cam. It could not have gone any worse for him in the later part of this race. It's just completely gone away from him after he was doing really, really solidly earlier on. But what has he got up his sleeve to come back at these guys? Euphoric State covering that line off, coming in towards the chicane for now. Rompu trying to get that bit of that toe if he can, try and have a look coming into turn 1. He's not going to be able to just for now. But we see there Rompu dropping off of these guys massively coming through that section of the track, and now Euphoric State has got Cam looking to his outside. Euphoric State still holding on for this P2. Cam Diz is in the slipstream here. He's going to have that run coming up towards the first chicane. Is he going to have a look here? No, he's too far back coming into the braking zone. So Euphoric State gaining a couple of positions there, with Rompu making a mistake. Oh, he gets no snow coming out the chicane, first chicane even, and that's given the position to Cam Diz. Cam Diz is up into 2nd place. Euphoric State just getting a little bit too heavy onto the pedal there. Just got a bit of a twitch, and now Cam Diz makes a mistake coming through the second chicane. Going back and forth between these two. Euphoric State's back up into 2nd. Cam Diz has now got Rompu all over him for the battle for 3rd. Cam Diz has made too many mistakes here in this race. He's had opportunities to redeem himself, and it just hasn't come about for him, as now Cam is having to defend the inside line off from Rompu. Will Friedman, the race leader's on the final lap of the race, but this has just been so close. Action-packed racing between these three, as now Euphoric State's trying to break away from these. Cam to the outside of Rompu's going to have that done into the final turn, and it's going to hold on to ahead of him just for the time being there. Rompu may try and get a good run here coming out to the start finish straight if he can, but Cam Diz for now has got that final podium spot. What is going to happen on this final lap though? Anything can happen between these two. So they're keeping it together for now. Will Friedman is coming through the middle sector now, so he hasn't got long to go here in this race, and he will be a double winner tonight as Zolder. Cam and Rompu still fighting this out, 0.2 of a second between them at the moment as they're coming through this through to the end of the first sector. Doesn't look like any of these three are close enough to the car in front in order to make a move. Will Friedman though in towards the penultimate corner here for round 5 of the season for the Porsche Supercup. So Zolder here at Motive Racing, he's been completely and utterly faultless tonight. Has qualified in 2nd for well, he's qualified up there for both of the races, but got great starts to both of them. Found himself in the lead on the first lap in the sprint. In this one he found himself adrift from Cam Diz, but never gave up, kept pushing. Cam made the mistakes, and Will has taken his opportunities. A flash of the lights for our standings man as he crosses over the line to take the win convincingly there. What a brilliant performance there from Will Friedman. Euphoric State's coming in towards the final part of this lap now, and it's going to be a 2nd place finish for him as he's 1.2 seconds clear of Rompu there. In towards the final chicane he comes, and out of the last corner onto the power, up towards the line. Not too shabby for him, holding off Rompu and Cam as they gave him a great fight. Cam's lost out to Rompu on this last lap. Rompu takes the podium spot, and Cam Diz finishes in 4th place. So the race has just gone completely utterly pear-shaped for him. as he is classified in P4. Sergey's going to come up towards the line now, and it's going to be a 5th place finish here for our league coordinator. Not the race, not the result that he would have been hoping for, but some decent points nonetheless for this feature race. Kenny's gonna, he's got DeedeeTKU all over him coming up towards the line, but I think he's gonna hold on for 6th. DeedeeTKU pulling out the slipstream, trying to get it done, but he can't. Kenny holds on there for 6th place. DeedeeTKU 7th, Raki finishes in 8th place. Kobzo's coming in towards the final few corners now. He's a couple of laps down on the leader, Will Friedman, but he is going to finish the race, and he will get full points rewarded as he loses the car coming out of the penultimate corner. So we see the fireworks going off there. Will Friedman, the race winner tonight by 26 seconds in the end, so a dominant win for him. Lazy Camel says does the double. Well done, Will. Absolutely, Lazy Camel. He's been on another level tonight. Kobzo coming out of the last corner. It's going to be a 9th place finish for him. Not too bad at all. Crosses over the line. Some very, very good points there. D-Crocs, Lightblade, Jesus, Maze Gamer, Hype Shoals of Scuderia Pool all didn't make it to the end. 9 out of the 15 get to the checkered flag. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen, for the Porsche Super Cup round 5 of the season. Big thanks to everyone who joined us on the stream. Thank you to everyone who liked the video. If you haven't already, guys, drop a like. Please subscribe to the Motive Racing channel if you enjoy the action, and join us on at motiveracing.com. Join the Discord if you want to get involved in the on-track action. We will see you in the next one. Have a great evening, and yeah, peace.